In this lesson, we're going to take a little break from the creation of our project and talk about some of the things that can go wrong when you're working on a project and how to troubleshoot those issues. Okay, so sometimes when you're working on a project in After Effects, a file that you're referencing over here in your project panel may become moved or deleted in the folder structure of your computer, causing it to give you a broken link. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over this window that has all of our footage files out of the project files folder. And I'm just going to grab this stainedglass.ai file and move and drag that into this folder I've created called Other Files. So that moves from this location, and I don't see it in that original location anymore. And I'm just going to move this over here. And sometimes it can take After Effects a moment to recognize that the file has been moved. But if I come over here and I try to click on this file in my project panel, it gives me this warning that it can't find that file anymore. So I say OK. And now over here in my project panel, that file name is italicized, and I get this little missing footage link picture where that file used to be. Now, if I go ahead and double click this other composition where we also have that file, we see that we have the missing piece of footage there as well. So how do we fix this, and how do we get it back into our project? So one of the ways is to simply move that piece of footage back, and because we just now moved it, we know which one it is. But what if I don't even really realize which piece of footage is missing, and maybe I have a lot more things over here. I don't notice the italicized text down here on the stainedglass.ai. It's a little bit hard to see, and all I can see is the fact that I have this little missing link here in my project. Well, I can go to the place that that file is being stored, or that layer is being stored here in my project. So I know that it's part of the banner, and I can go ahead and double click that banner and go inside of that banner, and there it is. There's that missing piece of footage. So what I can do is right click this piece of footage to get a context menu and come up here and say reveal layer source in project. So if I click that, it's going to snap me over to the stainedglass.ai file, and that way it's highlighted for me. I know right where it is. There's also another way that I can find missing files. Perhaps I have more than one missing file. I can use the search function of this project panel as well. So if I come up here and just type in the word missing, it's actually going to go ahead and bring up those missing files, and if I had more, all of those would be in a column right there in the project panel. So that's very helpful, just knowing that if a file is missing, you can type that in and it's going to find that for you. Now, if I wanted to find where this was, I could right click and it's going to give me some options. So I have the replace footage option and the reload footage option. Now I can't reload it right now because I don't really know where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit replace file, and then it's going to bring up my window. Now I know that I put it in this other files area, so I'm going to double click that, and I can either relink it here or move this file back to its original location. So I'm just going to relink it here. So I'll click that and go ahead and say open, and now my footage is no longer missing, and I can see what I was trying to look at whenever I had the image with the bars going through it. So now I can just hit the X, and that's going to bring me back to my normal view of my project panel. Now what if I want to actually go in and change one of the files in its original source file? Well, I'm going to go ahead and do that for my banner file just so that you can see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead here, and we will open up the banner file, the original Illustrator file in Illustrator. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And what I want to do is make a little change to these side flaps here on the banner. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new file that I've created that has just a little bit of some built-in shading in the form of hatching to that flap. So I'll go ahead and select this whole thing, and this part you don't need to do if you don't want to. I just want to show you what happens when you change this file. So now I'll go back here and delete the old flap, and we'll put the new one in place. And I just want to go ahead and bring up my layers panel really quickly just so I can get this layer looking the way that I want it to. We'll just drag this layer panels over here. And I'm going to move that down to the bottom of that stacking order. And we'll go ahead and duplicate this. Now, you don't have to do all of these things. I'm moving really quickly. I just want you to see what this looks like once I've changed the banner up just a little bit. Okay, so now we have this other type of flap on the edge of our banner. So we've made a little bit of a change, and now I'm going to save this Illustrator file with the new flaps in place. So I'm going to just hit Control S to save that, and we see that now that little asterisk is gone next to the banner.ai. And I'll go ahead and minimize that now, but I still have my same banner here in After Effects. So the way that I'm going to fix this is by using the reload option. So I'll come over here to the banner.ai file in my project panel, right click it, and we'll come down to reload footage. And if you just click that, it's automatically going to update that for you. So I'm starting not to like the way that this little stained glass graphic looks with the other shading that we've added here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out of this comp, but we still have the shading that remains there. So you can go back out to your main composition. Let me just see how that's interacting a little bit differently now. And we have reloaded this footage to make it look this way. Now, there's one other thing that I can do if I'm maybe wanting to know where a file was actually saved on my computer. I can always go to that file, right-click the file, and then we can come over here to Reveal and Explore. And if I click that, it's going to pop me open a window where it will automatically highlight that file in its location. So if I wanted to maybe do some editing to this in its original source program, I could do that right there, and it will be easy for me to find just by using that Reveal and Explore function. So hopefully just knowing a few of those tricks is going to help you if you lose any of your files, move any of your files, or hopefully not delete any of your files. So in this lesson, we took a look at a few of the common problems that can happen to your files when you're working in After Effects, and some of the best and quickest ways to fix the issues and get back to making awesome work.